And you can call me Franny all you like, love, but I am still your mother.
Stay on the girl. We need to know what Mrs. Calendar is hiding more than ever.
This is Henry, my tutor. We were just attending to my schooling.
And you have decided that her head is best filled with nonsense.
I'm not losing my job. If you tell anyone we're related, I'll cut off every inch of your hair.
Brodie says that nothing is hidden from the Lord. But even if the Lord saw everything, it didn't mean you wanted everyone else to.
What have I told you about coming in my room without knocking?
Living so closely together, you'd think we'd know everything about each other.
If we're all quite ready. As Miss Emily is turning 16 in some weeks' time, we will be appointing a lady's maid to assist her and Mrs. Calendar. One of you has already expressed an interest, but we will be interviewing girls with appropriate experience and a suitable background.
I'm sure it'll be an honour even to be considered, Mrs. Brodie.
If Agnes gets it, does that mean you'll need a new house?
I think we all know how I feel about speaking out of turn, Sheila. But in answer to your question, no. Agnes, Mrs. Calendar will be taking luncheon with Lady Goodall today, so your trial will begin promptly. Bessie, silver needs polishing. Hetty, fireplaces need cleaning. And as for you, I expect my staff to be on time and properly dressed. I'm sure a thorough scrub of the privy will help you remember that.
Peeled and defined ice, Judy.
I'm Sheila, Mrs. Whittock. Good luck, Aggie.
I told you not to call me that.
If you mess this up for me.
Living so closely together, you wouldn't think we'd have any secrets left to hide. But for some of us, there was always more to find out.
So that one's a stone pine?
Are you sure? Look at the colour.
Of course, it's a blue atlas cedar. Right, shrubs next.
Do you mind if we don't? I'd really like to finish my book.
Oh. All right, I've got to get, finishing with the pruning, anyway.
Giddy up!
Agnes, a little more decorum.
Would you like me to do yours next, Miss Constance? I'll need those hairpins then. You go find your nursery maid and I'll find a bow to tie on your pigtails.
Yes, Agnes.
That's quite a talent. You have younger siblings, I take it.
No, Mum. My parents only had the one child.
According to the notes on your interview, they're out of the country, is that correct?
What are they doing abroad?
Missionaries. In Africa.
Africa? How exciting.
They're just helping the poor and needy.
And now perhaps Miss Emily?
In a minute.
The dressmaker will be here shortly. If your dress isn't finished, your father won't be happy.
I don't see why. My birthday's not for weeks.
Just wants to make sure everything is perfect.
I don't want a party.
What girl wouldn't want a party for her 16th birthday? I shall be out all day. While I'm gone, I expect you to set a good example.
Of course, I'll be on my best behaviour.
Hetty.
would you like to wear a beautiful hand-embroidered dress with lace trim?
It might get a bit dirty while I'm scouring the fireplaces.
I was supposed to be studying with Henry today, but Father insists I waste the day getting fitted for a silly dress for a silly party.
Sounds awful. All that lovely food, all your friends, while some of us are having the time of our lives raking ashes.
So, how would you like to swap?
You want me to go to your party?
You're welcome to, but I think they might notice. But you can stand in for the fitting for me. We're practically the same size and the dressmaker won't tell.
Brody will skin me from here to Christmas if he finds out.
Please?
I could hardly refuse if you ordered me to do it.
Well then, I hereby order you to take my place and not to tell a soul.
I thought you were Brody. I've nearly finished. Look, it's a present for baby Mabel. Mars at the top, then Tom, and I've saved the prettiest blue thread just for you, Aggie. What do you think?
I think you should leave my name off it.
But you're our sister.
Keep your voice down.
Don't get why it's a secret.
Only girls from respectable families become ladies' maids.
But you don't need to fib to get your housemaid job.
You think they'd have given me it if I told them my pa had left? Yours was a peddler and Ma was bringing up the babies on her own. If I get ladies' maid, I'll be able to send more money home. You want that, don't you? For Ma?
And then we can tell everyone.
Tell everyone what?
Personal needlework on work time. If I catch you idling once more, Lizzie Duffet, now get back to the kitchen. The custard needs stirring while Mrs. Whittock's indisposed. Keep an eye on Lizzie. Some of the stories I've been hearing. If I'd known sooner, I never would have hired someone from such stock.
I work here, Miss Emily, and I'm looking for Jack.
Well, I haven't seen him, and you haven't seen me either.
What was that about?
Dunno, because I don't stick my nose in other people's business.
Fine. You won't want to know that I saw Jack earlier today then, seeing as it's none of my business.
Go on then.
Greenhouse.
Ow! No wonder Miss Emily ducked out, standing here with days on end. I wasn't shirking. I said work comes first,
I suppose you're going to tell me that Miss Emily gave you an order and you didn't know how to refuse. I understand. Just like I understand that sometimes you pretend to be sick when you're supposed to be serving at a croquet party so you can sneak off somewhere.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Brodie. I was so worried I'd done the wrong thing. I felt ill, so I was sort of telling the truth. And anyway, I was only trying to help. I'm not sure if I really did. I'd hate Mrs. Canada to think that I was meddling. Ow!
Thank you. Be careful, Hetty. If a family wants to lose a servant, then who do you think they'll pick? Someone who keeps their head down and their eyes shut, or someone who knows all of their secrets? But if you were to confide in a more senior servant, I might be able to protect you.
That's all right. But thank you. I owe you.
I'm sure the time will come when you can repay the favour.
Jack, I wasn't sure what you wanted me to do with the cuttings.
I was just asking Jack about heliables.
Put them on the compost and get a move on, no slacking.
I wasn't. I leave you to it. I know you wanted to be on your own.
I did, but...
It's fine. Why would I mind? I'm sure Jack knows more about gardening than me.
problem with custard. Stop stirring and it can curdle.
That'll make me feel better when my arms fall off.
I could stir for a while. You could work on your sampler. I'll make sure Brody doesn't find out.
Thanks, Aggie. You're the best sister.
Give it here.
Perhaps I could borrow this. I'd like to make some more notes.
Of course. I don't expect I'll need it before Oxford.
You're taking a trip?
I'm going to university, as you know. I must admit, I am looking forward to striking out on my own. Much as I love my family, I shall be happy to be living apart from them.
But you're to study here, in London, and become a doctor and save lives.
No, I'm to be a lord, not a lifesaver. Good old men study at Oxford.
Tell your father you've changed your mind.
I couldn't possibly speak to my father like that, even if I had.
What about me? If you're in Oxford, how shall I study?
I'm sorry, but you've always known this would happen.
You know Agnes is going for that lady's maid job. She's got all these airs and graces all of a sudden. Such an honour, Mrs. Brodie. As you wish, Mrs. Brodie. Ooh, Mistress Emily, this dress is most becoming.
Those veg peeling themselves, Judy.
Sorry, Mrs. Whittock. And my name's Sheila.
Less chatting with your sweetheart, more graft. On your way, lad.
He's not my sweetheart.
Oh. If there's one thing I know, it's my smells. And that is unmistakably the smell of burnt custard. Oh, the apple charlotte. Oh.
Want my full?
You were meant to keep stirring it.
Lizzie, did I not tell you to keep on stirring the custard? Then why weren't you? So much for keeping an eye on her.
Sorry, Mrs. Brodie.
I didn't leave it.
Must I remind you not to speak?
Wrong. Tell her, Aggie.
Aggie, her name is Agnes.
Tell her, or Ma'll be very angry at us.
Your mother?
Your sisters. But you told me you're an only child.
But your parents? In Africa?
Not likely. I've heard a lot about that Mrs. Duffet. There have been a fair few Mr. Duffets, if you know what I mean.
Sheila.
You lied. A lady's maid is in a position of trust and integrity. When Mr. and Mrs. Calendar find out about...
Agnes, get back here now!
We all know what the devil does with idle hands. Lizzie, the fish need gutting. Sheila, Mrs. Whittock will need more eggs for her custard. Hop to it!
"16 out of 20. Good work, Jack. Edwin."
Thank you for your time, Lord Goodall.
Did he tell you? Henry's going to Oxford.
Funnily enough, his son's studies weren't on our agenda.
But Oxford? Henry would be so much better off in London, reading medicine and becoming a doctor.
I think it's none of your business. You do well to stay out of it. Busybody.
Lord Goodall, wait! Let's get that soaking or you'll be scrubbing it till midnight.
I'll take mine in my parlour. Where's Agnes? Hetty?
She's in her room catching up in her mending.
Hiding her shame, more like. If she's not here by 3 o'clock to help Miss Emily dress, there'll be trouble.
Where is she really?
If she's not back by 3, she won't have a job to come back to.
Cover for me.
What about the stove? Why do I have to work with a bunch of skivers?
Better than working with a know-it-all. Jack reckons there's 14 different ways to prune a rose.
What?
Ignore them, they're being weird.
Have you got it? You have, haven't you? Look, I'm just trying to improve myself.
What do you mean, got what?
You can't see that. And you're no friend of mine.
What did I do?
Who's that? You so much as look at my chickens, I'll have your eyeballs for breakfast.
Hello, Mother.
Oh, Mother. Hark at Lady La-di-da. What are you doing here? Has something happened? Come on, we'll get you home.
I've got a honest smile, there's no
No,
news.
you'll do as you're told, my girl. Come on.
I'm sorry I haven't been to see Mabel.
You're here now.
Oi, stop! It's my turn.
Oi, boys! Boys! Look who's here!
Aggie!
Hello. Look at you, you've grown.
Oi!
You still got mudlarking then?
Oh, don't you go turning your nose up. There's good money to be made from the Thames. Oh, look. There she is, with your Auntie Jessamine. Agnes, meet your little sister.
Oh.
Oh, look.
Oh.
She's pleased to see you. We all are. Aren't we?
What are you doing here? I thought
What did you say to my father?
No need to thank me. I simply...
Thanks to you, he's refusing to pay for my room at college.
So you're not going to Oxford?
Oh, no, I will. Only now I have to live with my Aunt Myrtle.
Oh, that's a shame.
So much for living independently with like-minded students. Aunt Myrtle makes my father look positively radical. Why did you tell him I wanted to go to London?
London would be so much better.
Yeah, for you, maybe. That's all you were thinking of. Your dreams are not mine.
I'm sorry.
Oh, how's that supposed to help?
Mom, Aggie's on her way. She's not under a tree. I don't know where else to look. Thank goodness. Come on, if we go back now...
I'm not going back. I can't show my face there again.
Are you going to tell me what this is all about? Because I couldn't get anything out of this one, clammed up tight as a tick.
Aggie fibbed about something.
I lied about you lot, all right? I pretended my parents were abroad so they'd think I was respectable enough to get a job as a lady's maid.
You were ashamed? Of us? Well, I knew you didn't want Lizzie working with you, but I thought it was just one of those sister things.
Promotion would have meant more money.
Oh, we don't care about money.
The first thing Edie did when she saw me is pick my pocket.
You look here, Missy. I've had people look down their noses at me all my life, judging me, telling me I'm a bad mother. So my kids are a bit mucky and they don't mind their P's and Q's. Oh, so what? They're happy. And you were happy. Weren't you? But now we're not good enough. You'll send us your pay packet, but you won't even visit when your little sister's born. Lizzie's risking her job to help you. You should be proud to call her Kim.
I'm such a fool of myself. They'll all be laughing at me.
Look in my drawers.
Yeah.
Oh, when Tom sneezed all over Mrs. Girton's new hat. Come on. You've just got to front it out and make like it doesn't matter. And then it doesn't matter. So, come on. You going to go back there with your head held high? Yeah?
Thanks, Mum.
All right. Oh, good girl. Go on.
Today. You should change. Your father's expecting to see you in your dress any moment now. You don't want to disappoint him.
I already have once today. I've made things worse for Henry. He'll have to live with his Aunt Myrtle, and I'll
have no one to study with. That's why you wanted Henry to stay in London.
I know it's selfish, but I want to learn. Without Henry, how am I to do that?
Sometimes it's difficult to see past what we want. Other people want things too, just as strongly. Take your father. He just wants to see his beautiful, clever daughter become a young lady.
But he doesn't let me do anything.
Most girls spend their days on needlework, painting. Do you think Lord Goodall would let you study with a boy, no less, if he were your father? You must appreciate how much your father's done for you, putting your wishes before his own.
But I don't want to party. I won't know anyone. Henry will come now.
What better way to make friends? Allow your father to show you off, introduce you to society. Find new friends. Is that so much to ask?
You didn't get it from me, all right?
Mr. Calendar, there's something I must mention to you about one of the maids.
What is it? I'm off to see Emily.
In her new dress, of course.
And the household staff are my wife's concern, Mrs. Brodie.
Perhaps we should come back later, sir. The dress might not be ready.
She's expecting me.
Of course, sir.
She was supposed to be here. She gave her word that she... Proper young lady. And just like your mother. You look beautiful, Emily.
Don't turn around, the pins will show.
Very lovely, I'm sure.
Would you mind? I'd like to speak to my father. I disobeyed you earlier when I spoke to Lord Goodall about Henry. I'm sorry.
I expressly told you not to.
I know. And it's not enough to simply dress like a lady. I must act like one as well. I'm not a child anymore.
Quite right. It's about time
But
you...
neither is Henry. But because of me, he's to be coddled by his Aunt Myrtle rather than living independently like a man. If Lord Goodall understood how much I regret interfering, if there was a way to make amends...
I'll write a letter to him. Despite all of his strictness, he only wants his children to be happy.
Thank you, Father. Henry will be so pleased.
Good. Then that's the last we shall speak of it.
Absolutely. Until I go to university myself.
I trust you've had time to give some thought to...
I'd like to apologise, Mrs. Brodie. I should never have lied and said my folks were abroad. Although, technically, Pa is a sailor, so he probably is, anyway. It was dishonest to me.
Yes, it was. Although from what I've heard of your family, I doubt you know any better.
My family are kind, and they love me, and I'm proud of them.
I trust you wish to withdraw your application for lady's maid.
Yes, Mrs. Brodie. I'm quite happy where I am. For now.
I know you stole my book, so at least have the decency to admit it. I knew it was you.
I didn't take it. It doesn't matter who did, but it wasn't me.
He's telling the truth. He wouldn't lie. He's your friend.
You don't want that book. Nursery rhymes are for children. Just because you can't read doesn't mean you're a child. From now on, we do it properly, with books you're interested in.
We all have stuff that we're embarrassed of, that we'd rather keep hidden. But with the people who care most about us, you can be honest. There's no need to be embarrassed. Our friends and our family, they're the ones who can help us.
Lights out.
Brodie had acted like a true friend today, but was she being honest?
Good night, girls.
Could I really be sure she wasn't hiding something as well? I feel like someone's watching.
You ask a lot of questions.
Family trees are a fascinating thing.
You ever heard of the wolf boy? He roams the forest with his pack.
Looks like fingerprints.
The wolf boy.
We need to tell a grown-up.
Tell a grown-up what?
Vince?
Go back